Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, blue is indeed the colour. Football was the game. Chelsea are in the Champions League, and fuck these two bloody Liverpool fans anyway. But we're here for the SmackDown recap. It's Andy, it's Dirty Dave, and it's Fraz. I'm Andy, and let's crack on. How are we all, boys? I know you've probably got feelings and thoughts about that little intro there, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
Well, David, do you want to take this one? Or?
All I'm going to say is quite clearly, yet again, it's another example of the red brand being far superior than the blue in all forms of sport and or entertainment.
Well, there you go.
I'll echo those sentiments, ladies and gentlemen.
Thought we'd start off nice.
Andy is actually flexing on Chelsea getting in the Champions League by the skin of their noses. Villa have been robbed there massively. But yeah, 20 times. Dave, how are you anyway, mate? I'm not really interested in Andy. Did you have a good day today?
I had a fantastic day. I met a few people, had a good time, lovely pub lunch, a few nice beers. Chat was flowing. Everybody was loving each other. It was great. What about you?
Yeah. Do you know what? Very similar, actually. Had a fantastic time. Met some lovely people. Really enjoyed my dinner today. There was one bloke that turned up. It was a little bit uncouth at times, shall we say? But anyway, less about our personal lives.
I think we could just finish off by saying that when Curtis Jones has 2 Premier League medals and the Chelsea team don't have any. But anyway.
Yeah. So as I was saying, maybe we should move on to this week's SmackDown.
Maybe we shall. Right, okay, so let's kick things off with where I've put my results. There they are. Right, so WWE SmackDown, May 23rd, 2025. The first match on the card was Julia defeating Zelina Vega and Charlotte Flair in a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Then was Tommaso Ciampa defeating Chris Sabin with a little bit of an interference from Candice LeRae. Then it was a Mishin and B-Fab tag match versus Piper Niven and Alba Fyre. To be honest, you can probably just go and have a wager in this. Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo defeated Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, and R.I. Phoenix. LA Knight defeated Aleister Black, shocking, and Shinsuke Nakamura in another men's Money in the Bank qualifier. And the main event, Street Profits and Phyrexian, went to a no contest after interference from DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the triumphant and shocking return of the Wyatt 666. Well, matches up and down the cards, boys. What do you think?
Shall we address the worst part of SmackDown?
Let's start with the worst and move to the best.
Worst part of SmackDown for me was the crowd. Again, just piss poor. Didn't make noise through most of the show. Even when the Wyatt 6 came out, I thought they were shite. Best part of the show for me, this guy has gone from irrelevant to the best part of SmackDown, and that is Solo Sikoa. I don't know how he's done it, but he is comedy gold. The dynamic with Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. I actually read that they were going to change his name to JC Matanza, which was his name in Lucha Underground, apparently, or something like that. But anyway, less said about JC Mateo, the better. Solo Sikoa is quality. Everything he's doing at the moment is amazing. He doesn't come across as a clown at all anymore. And then when Tama and Tonga Loa come back, that whole thing's just going to be quality. Do you agree or not, gentlemen? That Solo is the best thing on SmackDown.
I am inclined to agree at the moment that Solo's work has massively improved. You compared to when he was like last year, being the Godfather, being the new tribal chief and all that crap, and I don't think it was working as well as it could have done. I think he feels a lot more comfortable, at ease, and natural on the mic at the moment. I think he's gone through that weird transition that Roman went through when he came back as tribal chief. Roman was just more comfortable. He was flying with it. He was more at ease with what he was trying to say. And I think that reflects massively in Solo. I think he's being given bullet points, probably by Paul Lee or someone of that ilk, to say, this is what you need to cover. go out and just riff with it. Like, who cares if you stumble, but get it, be comfortable. And I think he's absolutely killing it. Fatu's killing it as well with his visuals, and his mic work is pretty solid as well. Mateo so far hasn't really said anything at all. But he's looking bruiser, and I like it.
He's literally Mr. Hughes 2.0. I agree with almost all of that, to be honest, from both of you. I think Solo's absolutely phenomenal. I really liked what he did last year. I think coming off, and taking over from Reigns was always going to be really, really difficult. And, he had to play a different type of heel. I think what I really enjoy, and I think what he probably enjoys, is, you're right, he's learned, he's better. Every day you do it, you get better than you. But I think working with Fatu, they know each other, they love each other, they're family, they're comfortable. And I think that puts them both at ease more with each other. I mean, we all know what's like, you want to be working with your mates, don't you? Because you have the best time, because you know how to deal with each other. So I think that's helped his confidence in this latest run. But yeah, he's still heel, but he, like Fraz says, he's comedy gold as well.
You'd like to think working with your mates is really easy, wouldn't you?
I also would like to point out, maybe he's coping with the fact that he's not got Roman, like the aura and the ghost of Roman hovering over the story.
So
is like not weighing on his mind, not forcing and pressuring him into doing things he doesn't really feel comfortable doing on the mic. He's not having to be the tribal chief, the head of the table anymore. He's just Solo, and that's comfortable for him.
No,
it's shown through. Anything else that we need to discuss with regards to SmackDown?
Chelsea Green.
Just before we go on to a different subject, I would just like to say thank you, WWE Creative, in particular Paul Levesque, for listening to me last week, because JT Mateo came out in a fancy, shiny black singlet with shorts, which is much better than trousers and a vest. You may continue, David.
No, that's fine. That's taking the shine off my Chelsea Green comment. So, yes, Mr. Hughes has upgraded his outfit. Unfortunately, it seems to have fallen down on Chelsea Green's secret Herbus, as they seem to be coming out dressed up like Mr. Hughes 2.0 now. Not quite sure what's going on there. I like the idea. I love the concept. I find them really funny, but it's just something. I mean, the only wrestler that I've ever been able to tolerate wearing anything like that is Mike Rotundo as IRS, or maybe the Big Boss Man. But no, I don't want the secret Herbus coming out in Mr. Hughes type gear. Doesn't do it for me.
Do not approach the subject of Big Boss Man, otherwise this video could last 2 hours. And if you haven't checked out our best ever Big Man video,
where we talk about the Big Boss Man
at length. No, just on the Meechin and B-Fab match, I think it's safe to say the less time spent on that, the better. A bit of a meh match. I mean, I'm just not into it. They're not over. As you say, David, I will echo your sentiments. Great concept. They're just not over.
I think it will get there, but I think it's a bit. I don't know.
I think Chelsea Green's going to turn to a face. She's well over at the minute.
She is.
So I have some thoughts in regards to this whole angle here and everyone involved. Meechin and B-Fab, I'll start off with. It's up to you, obviously, whether you agree with me. Meechin has lost any and all shine she's ever had, and she didn't really have a lot of shine coming out of NXT. Like, she's been a member of the club with AJ Styles and the brothers, the Good Brothers, for some reason. She's she's been Mia Yim, she's been in NXT, she's been everywhere, and at no point has she really ever actually got over. Her and Chelsea Green had like a 3-4 month story over the US title, where they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and every single time she picked up L's, she was always staring at the lights at the end of it. It's like she's got nothing to do. She's perennial loser. B-Fab is a what was the name of that stupid fucking group? Hit Row, was it? Oh, awful leftover from Hit Row. the Secret Service are good in themselves. Chelsea needs a belt. She needs something. Otherwise, why are they bothering? Like, do you know what I mean? From a story aspect, from a character perspective, why are they looking after her? She's not the champion. She's nothing at the moment. Like,
Well,
it's like, why would JBL need the cabinet if he didn't have the world title? As soon as he lost the title, he didn't have the cabinet anymore.
Yeah, or as soon as he couldn't win it back again. I completely agree. I mean, I have to think. I honestly thought the reason they put that match on, we'll talk about this on Saturday night's main event, so no spoilers for who wins, but I honestly thought something else was going to happen in that match, and that's why they put that match on. But because I completely agree, there needs to be far more of a reason for her to have that Secret Service. But I mean, like, because she's gold. She's comedy gold. She can wrestle. She uses the unpretty her. She's, she can take some moves. She might not be the best addition out, but she's a good taker. She's a good seller, and it is a good concept. But it's just not. Doesn't, like you said, it doesn't make sense. Why are they protecting her? If it's all, I mean, it could, you can go down the line that she's delusional. It's all in her head, and she thinks she's more important than she is, I suppose. But actually, having a belt around your waist makes it a lot more entertaining.
Yeah. It actually, what's the word I'm looking for? It
adds a bit of drama because, like you say, imagine if she lost the title, she'd have to fire them, right? So that's a story.
Where's she got the money to hire them? Where's the money coming from?
Exactly.
She's not the champion anymore. She hasn't got the clout.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think, and I know that's going into a lot of detail for.
That's a lot of kayfabe,
but it would create a bit more investment, I think, and that's the problem. When people aren't getting over, you have to give them a little bit more, and that could be a little bit more detail. That is something that the fans can grab onto, that can care, give them a reason to care. And actually, when people aren't getting over, you have to get really detailed sometimes. It's not just a case of giving them shiny new pants and some slightly new music, because everybody's music sounds the same and everybody pretty much wears the same pants these days.
Speaking of shiny new music, people in need of shiny new music, Zelina Vega. Should we talk about Zelina Vega and that situation, and also the Money in the Bank qualifier if we got a chance? I mean, I've made no beans about the fact that I think Def Rebel need to take a long walk off a short pier generally. I think all of their music has sucked since they came in, but there we are. I will say the promo to start the show was really good. The Tiffy, Alexa, and Charlotte promo was really strong. I love Alexa. Alexa on the mic is just money. She's kind of twisted. Jacob was sat with me watching it, and he was like, "Daddy, she looks kind of like Harley Quinn." I was like, "She is kind of like Harley Quinn, but like weird." And he was like, "Harley Quinn's weird enough."
Yeah.
He had another take later on, but I'll save that for later on when we talk about gimmicks and attires. But I thought the promo was really good, and Julia going over in the Money in the Bank qualifier, absolutely the right move. Charlotte doesn't need to be in Money in the Bank. She probably will be, but she doesn't need it. And Julia, after her little spate on Raw, her little stint on Raw, needed something big to come off of that, because her and Roxy did look fairly weak after their weeks on Raw, even though they were mixing it with the big girls. They've both won their qualifiers, and I think that's going to be a big thing going into Money in the Bank in a couple of weeks. Those two confronting each other.
Yeah, pretty much said everything I wanted to say there, Andy. Other than the fact
Frazzy.
I agree, and I don't know if you want to use this as a segue to the men's qualifier, but where we talk about.
I mean, don't worry about what I was going to say at all, Dave.
Yeah,
No, because this is women anyway, and I'm not particularly
when you have no format, you run wild, don't you? I am not hung up on who does and doesn't qualify, because for me, I think whoever the Money in the Bank match is amazing, and that shines a spotlight on people in the match itself, let alone winning it. I think, it's one of those things, like if you're in a King of the Ring tournament, or if you're in a Royal Rumble, if you're in the Money in the Bank, that's pretty awesome for you. If there's been some shock people who haven't qualified, because you sort of think, what, how can they not qualify? But for me, I'm not fussed, because that just shows that they don't need it, and that they're going to go on to do, I think, probably better things. So if you wanted to now talk about the men's qualifying match, that would make sense, because I could talk to you about who won that triple threat match and why I'm not worried about who didn't win that.
Well, all I was going to say was it was a bit strange that Selena Vega took the pin over Charlotte Flair, because for weeks they have been trying to elevate the US Championship on the SmackDown brand, and it does nothing for Vega or the title. But there could be a callback if Julia doesn't win the Money in the Bank, and she can say, well, I beat you, so I deserve a title match, and then hopefully she wins the title off Selena if she wins against Chelsea Green on Saturday night's main event, which you'll find out if you watch our review video.
Yeah, I agree. Bit weird for her to lose as she's the US champion. I don't think it does much for her. But then why book those specific 3 people in that triple threat match?
Indeed.
You know, why book where you want one person to win but you don't want 2 people to lose? So, you know,
but would it have hurt Charlotte Flair to lose that?
No, but again, what we're saying is the fact that if Charlotte had lost, let's say some crazy surprise roll up from this up and coming youngster, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it," then that is going to put those 2 into a feud. But clearly, that's not where they're going with this. And I think you're right. I think the long-term plan is she's qualified for the Money in the Bank. I don't think she's going to win the Money in the Bank, but so then she can come back and take on Selena Vega for the US title.
So if you take the 2 matches I'm about to mention as mirrors of each other, you've got Julia, Zelina, and Charlotte, and Becky, Natalia, and Roxy. Those are mirror images of the same match, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
The difference is that Becky, of the 2 of them, of the 4 horsewomen, Becky is willing to do the job and stare at the lights. And Charlotte doesn't stare at lights. Charlotte wins lol, or she doesn't take the pin. And I think that there's no way, you can't tell me that she wouldn't have politicked that situation. Absolutely, she would. I'm not losing. Let Zelina lose, because I'm Charlotte fucking Flair and I win lol.
I disagree to a point. I will speak up here. Becky Lynch is already in a program with Laura Valkyria and soon to be Bailey. So if she loses, it's irrelevant, really, isn't it? If Charlotte loses, like Dave says, is a little bit, what, is she going to feud with Julia then? Because she's not just going to take the loss and then go, oh, well, I lost, and then she's going to go off and do something else. I just think there are bigger plans at play.
I think there's bigger plans at play for both of them, but I think actually Becky's storyline is that she's losing and that she's, you know, and she's fighting with herself. Is she as good as she thinks she is? She's trying to convince herself she is still the man. She is still amazing, yet she keeps losing. It started out that, you know, she was blaming Valkyrie for losing the tag titles. But since then, she's been losing and she's sort of blaming everybody, coming up with different excuses for everything. So actually, it's in her storyline that she keeps losing. It kind of makes sense. I don't, you know, and I just think the days of politicking are like to that level. That's the opening match of SmackDown. I don't think that's that important.
No, which moves us on to the men's qualifier, which my best mate LA Knight won. I think I did. Well, I mean, it makes the most sense, doesn't it? I'd love to see Aleister Black in that match, but LA Knight is kind of due to go over now. But this is WWE to a T, isn't it? You know, just coming too late to the party. He should have won it 2 years ago, should he not?
Well, I think he definitely should have won it last year.
Or last year, you know, like he's been in the last 2 Money in the Banks. He's won this one. What's going to happen now? Is he going to? Because he's the kind of person that you could see winning the World Heavyweight Championship at some point.
Who won it last year?
It wasn't LA Knight, was it?
No.
It was Damian Priest, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, because he cashed in at Mania. No.
That was the previous Mania.
Who won last year's Money in the Bank?
I will find out for you.
That's bad, isn't it? How do we not remember?
Especially from you, Dave. You're the encyclopedia. Jesus.
Not on the new stuff.
Drew McIntyre won.
Was it true? Oh
No.
shit! Yeah, of course.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
cashed
and
in
then
and lost
CM
it
Punk-
straight away, didn't he?
Yeah. Or CM Punk
Cost him.
messed up his cash in Glasgow, Clash at the Castle, wasn't it?
Correct.
something like
Yes, of course it was.
Yeah,
Of course it was.
yeah.
But quite simply, that match, I guess the right person won. I was surprised that Aleister Black took the pin.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Shinsuke took the pin.
Oh, no, he didn't, did he? Shinsuke took the pin. And that leads me on to what we were saying before we came online, which Shinsuke's days are numbered.
Very strange.
You know, him and Aleister Black looked amazing in the ring together, but it's just, you know, we're not NXT anymore, are we? And I don't really think there's a feud there, is there?
But it could
those
be,
two.
there needs to be a reason to care for Nakamura again, and they brought him back. I thought if they jazzed up his music, I really liked that whole ninja character. I thought it was great for the first few weeks, and then they just did nothing with it. And now there's no reason to care about him. Very, very weird situation.
He's just not over with the crowd, is he? I don't think it's anything. WWE have obviously given him new music, this new like samurai shinobi type character. The crowd are just not digging it. It's just diehards like you guys and various other people that remember him being incredible. Whereas I've never liked Shinsuke Nakamura since he came into the WWE because I didn't like his outfit.
Oh yeah.
You know, with his flares and his, you know, skin tight PVC one suit that he wore, and the fact that he's not amazing on the mic. But then, nor was Bret Hart.
Nor was Bret Hart, exactly.
And Gunther's not great. Let's be fair.
No, exactly.
Goldberg, on the other hand.
So I mean, right guy went through.
Yeah, because Aleister Black doesn't need the money in the bank.
No,
he's got his own stuff going on.
Yeah.
Then the tag match, Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo had a cool match against Big G and Ray Phoenix. I didn't see this match, but I saw the highlight of Phoenix's ridiculous corkscrew
plancha.
Yeah.
Massive sequence in that match.
Lots of spots, and he is great. But again, it done the job, didn't it?
They all had some shine in that match. They all had some shine in that match. They were all really, really like hitting their beats. And then, so I've got a small hot take amongst everything else with JC Mateo that's going on. I am not a fan of Tour of the Islands as a finisher. I don't think it looks that nasty. Like, yes, he's a big guy and he's landing on you, and not wanting to foreshadow Saturday Night Main Event. It's not Tsunami, is it?
It's not Tsunami. And interestingly, Tour of the Islands was what they used to call Crush's. Crush used to do a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, send you against the ropes, and then it spins you. You spin around 180 degrees, and then he lands you on his knee. A bit of a splash off the rope. Don't know.
Like they call it an inverted or a reverse power slam, like a reverse spinning power slam. It's just like, when he does it through a table, he used to do it through tables to the outside in Lucha Underground and in New Japan. Yeah, looked brutal, but just picking up a guy up and then spinning him the wrong way and then just landing on him, I'm like, whatever. Give him like not the Tahana bomb, that's Raquel, but like give him Rikishi's like Fatu driver, like up on the shoulder, drop him on in between your legs head first, boom, big killer move. That to me would have more impact than laying on someone while you're having a cuddle.
It's right up there with the world's strongest slam, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Which moves us on to the main event.
Oh, I thought that was going to bring us on to the worst finishing moves in history, which I think should be one of our shows coming up soon.
It may well be. Foreshadowing.
Could be.
The Street Profits and Frazium. Fraz, I defer to you. I curtail the old forelock to you for the Frazium assessment and how you think they're doing on week 5.
They were screwed, god damn it. They were fucking screwed. You know, they were fucking screwed by DIY and the Motor Shitty machine guns, and which led to the return of Bray Wyatt 6, which was ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
I think the less said about Frazium and the Street Profits, the better, because I'm a little bit sour that they didn't win the titles. The rocket is still orbiting Jupiter at the moment, but it will come back round, I'm sure. Wyatt 6 for quality. I'm glad they're back on Bray's birthday. It's exciting. The problem they had on Raw was they were booked really shit. They'd come out 1 week and then you wouldn't see them again for 3 or 4 weeks. Just killed any momentum they had or any storyline, whereas now they've been interjected in this tag team division, which is already one of the best things in wrestling at the moment on a WWE brand. And then you've got Uncle Howdy. As I said to you guys, like, hopefully it's going to lead to him having a program with someone and doing something really cool, and dare I say feud with Mr. Cena. What do you think?
I think
Mr. Cena.
I think that'd be a really good callback. Like we said off mic, for obviously those who don't or didn't see or didn't hear, Bo did say at the end of it, Uncle Howdy said, "I meet my life for yours or my life for you," after or just before he blew out Bray's candle. And it's like, I feel like he's gonna give a little callback to things like the Firefly Funhouse, if he can go after John. Give a call back to the Firefly Funhouse, and their whole shtick has been half going against people who have fucked over their families, but also righting the wrongs that Bray suffered. And I think if they can go after John for everything that happened at 30, and then Firefly Funhouse, etc., I think that would work really, really nicely, and would give some shine to Bo and the Wyatt 6 massively, especially seeing as it doesn't look at the moment as though Alexa's going to be joining, but I hope she does.
Yeah.
Well, I completely agree, mate. You pretty much covered everything I wanted to say with that, and that's great because I thought they were fantastic. I always really liked them. I agree with Fraz. I don't think they were fantastically booked on Raw after their first couple of weeks there. Hopefully, there's more they can do on SmackDown. I think having them in the tag division would be cool. And Uncle Howdy definitely deserves something because obviously, it's no spoiler, it's Bo Dallas, who is an exceptional hand, who sells like there's no tomorrow. Everything he does looks crisp and sharp. I think next to Cody Rhodes, he's probably the best stomper and kicker and puncher in terms of how they look, and how he takes moves is fantastic. So it would be great to give him almost a Bray Wyatt, sign off with John Cena, a throwback to WrestleMania 36 and that crazy match, which we said before we went on air. I think I'll take the words out of your mouth, Andy, is that pretty much everything that Bray said about Cena in that match and how he behaves and what he is pretty much what's happened, which is pretty cool.
It's completely come true, isn't it? So
so it could you can very easily link them together and say, well, Cena's taken everything Bray said and he's doing what he said. So you can link them together. And for anyone that doesn't think that Uncle Howdy's over enough or good enough, Bo Dallas is definitely good enough to be in the ring with main event talent. No problem whatsoever. Just got to have the right reason for it, and that would be perfect. I think it'd be great for him, and I think he deserves it.
Yeah. The other person I had him feuding with is possibly Aleister Black. But then there would be no reason to, but I just think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like supernaturally type free.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some interactions. Definitely some interactions. 100%.
Aleister Black will have, I would imagine, a group shortly. And, that will be a good group feud. I suspect some NXT people and possibly someone returning.
So we have not talked about 2 more segments in the show yet. The first one being the Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest shenanigans throughout the show, the beating the shit out of each other, and also the last one was Ron Cena coming out for his little promo, sort of halfway through the show about John. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre not wanting to foreshadow anything for Saturday night's main event. They just beat the shit out of each other both times, and there was not really much story progression there. But still nice to see Drew and Damian and see people being big meaty men slapping meat. We all know Fraz loves the hurly-burly men. But yeah, any thoughts on those two situations?
I think big hurly-burly men, obviously number one on my bucket list. I just think the two promos, so R-Truth's promo was really, really good, and it showed a serious side to him. However, that could have been helped if John Cena was there to interact with him, to build the match for Saturday night's main event. However, with Drew and Maxi Priest, I thought it was good, and it did build the match for me, because I was like, these guys just want to fucking kill each other. They're about to step in the cage. I know it was on NBC primetime, I think. So I think it was never going to be I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it's never going to be any claret in that match. It was never going to be like proper hardcore. But going into that match after SmackDown, I was like, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm not really expecting too much more from the Cena and R-Truth match, because we all know what's going to happen. And if you watch our prediction show, you will find out that I have said R-Truth is going to win due to a surprise roll-up, I believe.
I think you did, yeah.
Indeed. So, both segments, again, did what they were supposed to do. Overall, SmackDown as a show this week was vastly better, shall we say, than previous weeks. I still think last week's, in terms of the matches, were better, but having the White Six come back was definitely a highlight for me, and Solo Sikoa, again, just proving that he is really growing in this role as, I don't know, Bloodline. Are we going to call it 3.0? Who knows? But that is the best part of SmackDown for me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
I agree massively. Yeah, I think this SmackDown was pretty tight. I thought it didn't feel like a long 3-hour card to me, like it sometimes does. So I think they've managed to find the recipe for making a 3-hour SmackDown, or it just was a good card. I'm not really sure. I will say, I know I mentioned it earlier, but my little boy, his take from this week was, "Daddy, why do they all wear such stupid jackets?" They were his words exactly. And I agree. Everyone does wear a stupid jacket. I don't know why Zelina Vega's coming out with that stupid thing on her head or on her back. Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair looking like Maleficent. Every single character seems to wear a stupid coat, and I don't know why. Whatever happened to Kurt Angle? Just coming out singlet, no frills, just boom, hard ass machine. And I want more of that. But
my best mate JC Mateo didn't come out in a jacket.
He did, but he was shiny and PVC. That's pretty fancy.
I quite like.
That's Jacob's take. That's not my take.
I quite like Zelina Vega's flame coat jacket thing. I thought she looked like Bam Bam Bigelow. So always good. And I don't mind Charlotte. That suits her character. I think, an evil queen. So I didn't mind that. But yes, I do agree with the fact there are probably too many weird jackets. Damian Priest.
It's not my take. It's not my take. It's Jacob's take, and he's
no.
So
Maybe it's cold in Georgia. Who knows? But yeah, don't book everybody with jackets in the same match. That's probably the key highlight here. One jacket per match, tops. Well, obviously tops.
I will let him know that you agree with him then, Davey. Don't worry.
Yeah. Good man.
Right then, boys.
Excellent. Sign off.
I think that's been a pretty good SmackDown show. I think we just have time to say thank you for everyone who watched. Up the red men, up the blues, and take care, everyone.
20 times, baby.
20 times. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a great evening, guys. Take care.